I'm sorry, YouTube Live. And give me 1 second here. I'm just gonna throw this up here. Give me 1 second here. I always do the same thing every. All right, 1 second, guys. Hold on. I see everybody's on. Give me 1 second here. I hope everybody's doing good. Okay, I'm back. All right, so here we are, 1 minute into the NFL preview. Now, I just made a post earlier about thinking about it over and over again, and I thought, how overrated is it too? The first thing I'm going to say here is the NFL needs to find another money man for the NFL, and they need to stop letting Jay-Z control the NFL. I'm only going to talk about this for a minute, and I'm going to go into the NFL previews. But Jay-Z and Beyonce are satanic. They're cash cows. They don't need to be putting themselves into the NFL. The NFL is the NFL. It's not the NFL is not entertainment. The NFL is sports. It doesn't need people like Jay-Z making decisions who's playing at Super Bowl halftimes or not. And I know a lot of people like Kendrick Lamar, but it is in comparisons of putting Lil Wayne in there. Lil Wayne is past due for that. Um, Jay-Z's a hater. Every time Jay-Z gets his hands on something with his money, he makes sure he controls who shows up and who doesn't show up. So you can separate the shady ones from the actual real ones. Little Wayne should be at the Super Bowl in New Orleans. It's that simple. There's no other way around it. They need to buy out Jay Z and get him out of there. Hopefully, the Diddy files expose Jay Z for what he is, a fraud, and he's never going to be the guy that people think he is. He's not that good. Eminem destroyed him on his own tracks. Um, DMX exposed him, and then he threw him off of Def Jam. Jay Z's not a good person. That's the first thing I'm going to talk about with that, and then I'm going to let it go. Now, let's get to the NFL previews because I want to try to make this about the NFL, not about entertainment. So anyway, the first game of the night will be the Colts and the Giants. Now, it doesn't make sense for the Giants to win this football game at all. The 7.5 for the Indianapolis Colts should be pretty much simplified. I think the Colts probably win this by 3 touchdowns. I don't think the Giants are even going to try to win. I don't think the Giants should try to win. And I don't. And if they go for Shader Sanders, that would be a huge mistake for the New York Giants. Because Shader Sanders is not going to make the New York Giants better. So anybody that thinks that is just an irrational person. It is not going to happen. They need to build it with a running game. They need to build it with an offensive line. They need to do tons and tons of things out there, the Giants. And honestly, I wish somebody would go out and buy the Giants from John Mara so he can't sabotage that franchise. It's ridiculous how bad the Giants really are. Um, so that's really where it is. But yeah, the Indianapolis Colts still have I guess they have a little bit of a chance to get into the playoff picture. 7-8. I mean, Anthony Richardson hasn't played great this year. I would probably say Anthony Richardson throws for about 300 yards against the Giants because the Giants aren't going to try today. Even 29% chance of them winning today is too much. I don't think that they stand a chance at all. I don't think they need to win. If they win, it's ridiculous. They don't need to win. So I'd probably take the Colts with the 7.5 in an easy one, probably in the under 40, probably, because I don't think the Giants are going to score touchdowns. That's pretty simplified in itself. Moving on to the Cowboys and the Eagles, the game that everybody's hyping up. No Jalen Hurts. Kenny Pickett's in there. They got Tanner McGee, and they have Ian Book, I guess. But the Eagles already made a severe mistake. They got too greedy already, and they went out and they got Ian Book, and they could have had Teddy Bridgewater as a solid backup. The one thing I think the Eagles going to the playoffs that might hurt them is if Jalen Hurts gets hurt, or if Jalen Hurts gets hurt, or you know, needing a solid backup just in case he can't get it done. because even with all the receivers and Saquon and all that stuff, the end of the day, it's going to come down to quarterback play. I think still at some point, and with that $52 million contract, he sure as anything better get out there and play that game. But he may get hurt. I don't know. We'll see what happens with the concussion thing. The Eagles are a 7.5 point favorite. They should probably really be 14 because the Cowboys. I don't. I know the Cowboys are going to try to win. They're going to play. So maybe you might want to take the Eagles on the money line. I should retract that with the 14. Um, Dallas, I guess Cooper Rush is out there. I could see the Cowboys staying in the game. I would take the Eagles money line, obviously, because I think they're going to try to somehow slowly try to get that number one seed, but I think it's too late. I think they already put themselves out of that position. They might as well sit Hurts the rest of the season and just go into the playoffs and see what happens. Chances are they're probably going to play the Commanders for a third time. Also, with that said, um, so yeah, I would probably say Eagles money line over 37 possibly, and we'll see where it goes. It'll be an interesting game. I mean, I think they're stuck where they're going to be, a 2 or 3 seed. Probably going to play the Commanders for a third time, and we'll see what happens. There's no guarantee that they even win their first game either, but we'll see. Then we go to the Jets and the Bills. The Buffalo Bills at 12-3. Now Joe Burrow played early, so in his defense, he kind of has set the bar here too. With his good performance yesterday, that win, and getting to 8-8, which is pretty crazy considering how bad they were early in the year. The Cincinnati Bengals are in that hunt, so as far as MVP, if they get in, I just don't. I honestly would add Joe Burrow to that list of MVP candidates, since it's always only a quarterback every time, which I don't understand. It should be by position, not by quarterback. The quarterback is not always the MVP of the team. It's the offensive line, it's the running backs, it's the receivers. I mean, I think the NFL needs to revisit that. That's probably another Jay-Z thing. Anyway, you know, but yeah, the Buffalo Bills -10. The Jets probably won't try. I'd probably just take the Buffalo Bills on the money line now. I think just taking them on the money line in this one just to play it safe, because the Jets might, maybe Aaron Rodgers plays. I don't know what he's going to do. Aaron Rodgers ruined the Jets. He got his coach fired this year, so I really don't care for the Jets to win any games. Honestly, I think when you sell out your coach like he did and you still fail anyway, it doesn't really change anything. Yeah, so probably the Bills money line in that one. It said over under. I'd probably take the under. Moving on to the Panthers and the Buccaneers. Carolina's played a little bit better. Bryce Young has played a lot better. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 8-7. I think they're getting in either way. However, I really think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need to show something today to me, and really beat the Panthers, solidify beating the Panthers today, because even at 8-7, that's not that great. I mean, that's barely getting in the playoffs. If you're in the NFC East, you're probably not making the playoffs. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 8-7, and like I think they played well, but Baker Mayfield's like an up and down quarterback, and you can't really rely on him. The -10 even seems too much. I would probably take the Panthers +10 in this game. I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a little over themselves, sort of. Um, at 8-7, they're barely getting in. The only reason they're getting in is because they're going to win their division, which is kind of ridiculous. I'd probably take the Panthers +10, and then I would actually, in the whole total point scheme of this, I'd probably take the under. I don't think you're going to score that much. And then, we'll see what happens. Tampa Bay obviously is going to get in by winning their division. The Titans and the Jaguars, 3-12 and 3-12. Everybody's saying the Titans are going to win this game. I don't see that. I don't think the Titans want to win. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it's really a disappointing season for them, because I really thought that the Jags would at least get into the playoffs, and they just totally tanked it out. You know what I mean? As far as the Titans and the Jaguars game, I would probably take the Jaguars +1. The fact that Tennessee's even a 1-point favorite, I'm not understanding that. I'm not. I think that the Jags can win this game. I would probably take the Jaguars. Actually, I would just take them on the money line. I would take the Jaguars on the money line in this game. The 37 under 37 seems like a really soft play. I don't think there's a lot of scoring going to happen here. Solid bet there for that game. Um, and we'll see what happens with Dougie P. Who knows? After watching Deion Sanders totally tank that bowl game, he's probably going to try to go be a coach in the NFL now because his son's leaving. We'll see what happens. It'd be interesting to see if the Jaguars got rid of Dougie P and then somehow Deion Sanders went back to Jacksonville as the Jaguars head coach. But we'll see what happens. I was thinking it over. The Cowboys aren't going to get rid of Mike McCarthy because they're just too stupid to do it. Jerry Jones is a delusional owner, hasn't won anything since 1995. So I think he's going to keep McCarthy around just because they beat up on Tampa Bay last week. But we'll see what happens. The Raiders and the Saints. Interesting game. The Saints, 5 wins now, but they've already been eliminated for too much. The Raiders are not trying. The only thing the Raiders should try for is to be worse than the Giants. That's about as far as it goes. It's the Raiders -2 for some reason. I don't know what it is. I guess it's because Spencer Rattler's in there. I don't buy that. I think that the Saints are going to win this game. I think the Saints +2, and maybe over on the 37 seems like a solid play here. The Raiders don't need to win this game. They need to tank. They don't need to win this game. They have 2 games left. I would lose both of them and try to get that at least the 2 or the 3 seed in this as far as it goes. Spencer Rattler playing, give the Saints a win. They might as well get to 6-10 or 7-10 at the end. I mean, they were 2-0. They have no real excuses. I don't think they have a good head coach. Another place Deion Sanders might end up going. Who knows? I think it's going to be the Deion watch. I really do. But I would take the Saints +2. All right, next game is the Dolphins and the Browns. The 7-8 Dolphins and the 3-12 Browns. Now, I don't know how much of a chance the Miami Dolphins have of getting into the playoffs. I don't think they would be a threat getting in, even if they do. However, what I take from this is the Miami Dolphins really kind of maybe control, but then I hear Tua's not going to play. So I'm trying to figure out if the Dolphins even have a chance to play the playoffs. I mean, they have a chance to get in it, and you don't have your $52 million quarterback available. Maybe not available in this game. It seems a little off. It does. It seems like maybe the Dolphins just want to hang up the coat this year if they do that. Because I don't think if they put in, what's his name? Moore, he's going to win the game for him. As of right now, I would probably say, I would honestly in a scarcer one, I would probably take the Cleveland Browns +3. I honestly don't know what the Miami Dolphins are going to do today. I don't know who's going to play. This is like a game of chess today with the Dolphins. They're the one team that might be able to get in, but if they don't start their quarterback, I think it would be unwise. But then again, if he has a concussion, I don't know what Tua does. You have a $52 million quarterback, can't do it. Again, another reason they should stop overpaying quarterbacks $50 million contracts. Hurts, Tua. That's only to start. Kirk Cousins. It doesn't make any sense to me why they do that. So, we'll see. But after that, we got the big one, and this is probably for the playoffs. This one looks like it's going to be for the division too. If the Green Bay Packers can't get it done against the Minnesota Vikings, the Minnesota's a -1 in this game. This is probably the most interesting game of the day, guys. That's the one you're probably going to want to watch, and all those other playing for seeds things. But the only game that really matters is the 4:25 game, Green Bay at Minnesota today. Now, this is interesting. I honestly think that the Green Bay Packers are going to win. I would take them +1 today. And over 48, because I think that Jordan Love is going to get it done today. I think Aaron Jones and Jordan Love, I think they have something to prove. And obviously, the Green Bay Packers are 11-4. Where's Aaron Rodgers at? The great Aaron Rodgers that said that he was the reason that they won. I mean, the Green Bay Packers at 11-4, I think, get it done against Minnesota today. I think they're going to beat the Vikings today. I think I would take the Packers +1 in this, or money line, either one. And I would take the over 48. This game may even go to overtime. This might be your money game right here. That's the one where you kind of want to look at it and say, wow, that might be the game I need to choose. And it would probably halter the Vikings as being superior. I mean, at 13-2, the Vikings are record wise they are. I don't know where they're really going to go in the playoffs with Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones. I just don't know where they're really going to go. So we'll see what happens there. So Green Bay. I think Green Bay gets it done +1. Next game on the list, and at the 8:20 game today, will be the Falcons at the Commanders. Now, this is a game where they released their $42 million quarterback, who did nothing for them. It was horrible. Everybody in America knew this was a bad contract with Kirk Cousins. At 8-7 with a little bit of a chance to get into the playoffs, I think. I think they have a chance to get it. I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean the Commanders at 10-5 right now are right there, and beating the Eagles last week helped those chances. Washington is 3.5-point favorite. I honestly, this is the first time in a while I actually like that line out of any of these games. I'd probably take the Commanders -3.5. I just don't think Michael Penix is going to go out there against the Commanders in a game in the playoffs at Washington on the road. They kind of set him up for failure because they wanted to have Kirk Cousins there. They gave Kirk Cousins way too much of a leash, only because they paid so much money for him. So I would honestly say that the Commanders are going to get this job done today. 3.5-point favorite, the Commanders. I think that's a safe bet to say that the Commanders win this game, 3.5. 46.5 is the line, is the total points. I would probably say over on that. I think the Commanders probably get it done, go to 11-5, and stay right in the thick of things. And honestly, I mean, I don't know how it plays out, but if the Eagles don't win out, or maybe they already won the division. I don't know what happened there. So anyway, but yeah, I would take the Commanders tonight. Commanders definitely want to get in the playoffs. Jaden Daniels has played very good this year. Terry McLaurin's a great receiver. Doesn't matter what the Eagle fans say, he's a good receiver, and I think he's going to step up in the playoffs when it matters. I really do. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's my breakdown for the games so far today. And we'll see where we're at. Anyway, I'm going to get off. I'll try to do the recap tonight. X-Men out.